Dear Sydney, what initially amazed me when we first met, one of the many things, was that we had similar hobbies, or maybe like all the typical guy hobbies. Whether it's your love of nature and the outdoors, drinking a beer at a brewery, or watching football on Sundays, it's like a mirror image of what I enjoy. I thought this was all too good to be true. I remember a specific conversation with my father early on when things were getting serious between us. He is not one to talk about romance and love, but I do remember him saying something to the effect, having similar interests definitely makes things easy. Thanks, Dad, for the stellar advice. I vowed to constantly remind myself and each other to keep it fun and not be complacent amidst life's busyness, stress, and routine. I also vowed to do a better job of penciling in our date nights ahead of time. I fell in love with a woman who can be characterized as fun, caring, empathetic, and intellectually driven, to name a few. I vow to always be that Frankie you met at that ice cream shop almost 3 years ago. And I vow to never desire to change what makes you, you. On the other hand, I vow to not sweat the small things, whether it's the disposing of your eye contacts on the floor, or picking super ripe produce at the supermarket that's pretty much inedible. I will happily carry on with a smile on my face and accept it as trivial things that make you who you are. What truly cemented the foundation in our relationship is our values. You are God-fearing, family-oriented, very much American, but also very much Latina. I'm proud of your roots, as well as someone who's intellectually curious and values education. I got a glimpse of all this on our first date. You were very direct. I believe you came at me with hard questions like, what are you looking for in a person? Not exactly what I was expecting on a first date, but I saw how intentional you were and that you were coming from a good place. I don't exactly remember what my response was that day, but I noticed as I was writing these vows that the answer tied back to our values. On that same first day, we continued the deep talk and touched on our faith, our family, our roots, intellectually stimulating conversations, and the whole 9 yards. Or talk about our next professional endeavor or next home read. It is these values that are deeply rooted in ourselves and our relationship. I vow to always uphold these values that we share. I'm excited to come home to one another and talk about our daily challenges or unimportant matters to reset. Even on these long days when confronted with the curveballs of life, whether personal or work, I will be there for you. I vow to always be that earthly light for you, and to be by your side through thick or thin. I love you, Sydney Maribel Argueta. I am excited to start our married life together and to call you my wife. With all my unconditional and everlasting love, Frankie.
As we stand before each other, April 11, 2026 is a testament to the fact that God's timing is truly perfect. I love that our story began way before either of us knew, almost 13 years ago, in El Canton, Honduras, where our lives crossed on a medical mission trip. Though we had no recollection of meeting, let alone talking, we figured this out on our first date during what we jokingly call your interrogation. As we ate ice cream in Davis Square on a hot summer day, there was something about you, even on our first date, that caught my eye. You stopped my interrogation, and you sat next to me and you took away my first date jitters. What was just an ice cream date turned into also a bowling and a pizza date in one day. And that date turned into a journey of partnership and love, rooted strongly in our faith, our authenticity, grace, and joy. We can fast forward a few months ago to finally publicly share this story of how I told you I loved you for the first time. I was getting out of the car, running to catch the train. As I was getting out of the car, I said, "All right, love you, bye." I slammed the car door, and only then did I realize what so effortlessly was said. And part of me hoped you hadn't heard it. He did hear it. I didn't reach out the rest of the day. But you texted me something at the end of the night about lobsters at Wegmans, and eventually told me you did hear me. You, along with my closest people, know that I am a deep and logical thinker, and the only way to explain that event is that my heart knew first. You are an answered prayer, and in you God has given me much more than I ever knew I could ask for. You are my best friend, and I'm so excited you'll also be my husband. You have brought so much peace and joy into my life. Early on in our dating, you'd remind me, just be yourself. And in that genuineness, we built our relationship. In you, I have found security, comfort, and refuge. I have also found goofiness and fun. In you, I have found peace and joy that is not conditional on the circumstances of life. So before God and our friends, these are my vows to you. I vow to encourage you to watch the Giants on TV, even when they're losing terribly, and remind you that it's never too late to be a Patriots fan. I vow to be patient when you check the stove 5 times to make sure it's off before we leave the house. I vow to always eat your snacks, even when I told you I wasn't hungry. I vow to try to stay awake through at least 50% of a movie. I vow to walk not in front of you or behind you, but beside you through the pages of our story, through blessings and success, through hardships, grief, and challenges. I vow to challenge you to always grow, even in the seasons of monotony. I vow to be a rock, the person you can find next to you after or across the room to ground you in the different seasons of life. I vow to love your family as my own and to hold them close. I vow to love you not just for who you are now, but who you will be throughout our journey. Lastly, I vow to be your lighthouse that will shine no matter the clarity or fogginess of the skies. Love you. Bye.
Yes. It's only the beginning though.
Buckle up.
Yep.
I know. Oh my goodness.
That's right. That's right. Buckle up. Yep.